Wilson, they found us. They found us, Wilson. We're saved. Woohoo! Of course, in the real movie, Wilson drifts off to sea, never to be seen again, but that's not going to happen in our version because Wilson's been too important in the last 9 weeks. Good morning, everybody. What's happening? Welcome to, see, I almost said week 10. So I'm not going to say week 10 because it's really week 1, right? So welcome to week 1. Welcome to the launch of your new real estate career in a slightly changed real estate environment. And before we dive further into what that looks like this week, we got to have a little bit of laugh.
Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. I thought I would show you some kids' Valentines that my viewers sent in. There's just nothing better than kids writing Valentines. You just never know what they're going to write. This is from Melissa Carbani from San Francisco, California. Roses are red, violets are blue. I like Miss Carbani better than you. She is sweet and she is kind and she also drinks wine. In class? How does she know that her teacher drinks wine unless it's in class? Emily Nadeau, I believe, Mableton, Georgia. My mom loves my dad, and look. He's calling her a hoe, I think. Hoe! Don Titus from West St. Paul, Minnesota. You will show your butt to me.
All righty. So one of the things that we will not be doing today is showing our butts to you. However, for those of you who are joining us back in the market centers today, I do want you to recognize that we do have a greeting for you. You got it? Because clearly we can't do it in person. But that's how excited we are for those of you who are joining us. A couple of quick announcements, then we'll dive just quickly into reopening again, and then move ourselves forward. So our announcements for this morning are this. First and foremost, many of you saw something that the MLS posted over the weekend, which said that if buyer's agents or buyers are refusing to sign the health questionnaire for physical showings, that you can't deny them that physical showing. And if you do deny them the physical showing, the property has to be withdrawn from the market. That is the stupidest thing I have ever heard in my entire career, let alone my entire life. I will be calling the MLS today to go to war on your behalf because we have worked way too hard in the last 10 weeks to convince our sellers to be on the market so that we actually have houses to sell. And one of the ways we were successful in doing that is making sure they felt protected. So I will go to war for you today. I do not know where this will go, but my advice and my guidance for each of you this morning is nothing changes. We are doing and running our business the way that we have decided to do and run our business. The MLS is not the boss of us. The MLS is not the be all end all of the rules. And so we are going to cruise forward and ask for those documents to be filled out until or unless they either shut us down or something else happens. So we'll take this to the board. We'll take it to whomever it needs to be taken to, because I simply cannot understand the logic behind that, because there is no logic behind it. It's a rule for rule's sake. I also believe they're contradicting themselves in that 60 days ago, they told us that as long as a virtual showing option was available, that property was considered on the market and available. And so if someone's unwilling to sign a document to get into a house, they have a virtual showing opportunity available to them, which should negate this entire conversation. So I don't know how anybody else feels about it, although I do see a whole lot of cheering and support for what I'm saying. And I don't know how anybody outside of our organization feels about it, if they're as annoyed by it as I was. And yet I will go to bat for you today and see what we can take care of. To that, also in the same category of questioning authority and whatever else you want to call it, there were also a couple of things this weekend from real estate boards banning and forbidding in-person open houses. Now, I don't necessarily disagree with not hosting in-person open houses just yet. I personally do think it's a little too early. Our guidance to you from the Market Center level is just that, is to continue doing your virtual showings and your virtual open houses as you've been doing, to not jump back into that yet. It is the guidance of CTR to not host in-person open houses. And yet I just want everyone to understand, because it's so massively important to me that you get who's in control of your business. Because the whole premise of our organization is that you are in control of your business. And so when someone on the outside starts to tell you how to run your business, when I don't feel like I have that opportunity, or that, I shouldn't say that opportunity, that came out wrong, but that I have that right to do that, when somebody on the outside starts to impede your business, that frosts me a bit. And so real estate boards don't have authority over you. And please remember that. You are independent contractors. You are independent business owners. You happen to belong to an organization. And when I say an organization, I mean the National Association of Realtors and their trickle downs that are a support system for you. They don't impose rules upon you. So when the Darien Board of Realtors votes to ban open houses and then announces that to their members, understand that you can go tomorrow and have a public open house if you'd like. It is not my recommendation. And yet, boards cannot ban you from doing something for your business. I just want to be really clear about that, because I think we're going to have some issues in the next couple of weeks as we have this not locked down by the governor, but not quite reopened by the governor, this kind of weird in-between world that we're going to live in for a while. These things are going to continue to come up. And so if you have a question about what is right or wrong, or what you can and cannot do, please come to me and ask that question. Please come to your team leaders, ask that question of us, because we will give you the answer that starts with you are your own boss, and you are your own business, and you are your own fate determiner. We're never going to pass you to, well, the MLS said this and the board said that, right? When it comes from the governor, that's a slightly different conversation, right? Because the governor does have authority. The real estate boards, not so much. Okay. Whew. That felt good to get off my chest. All righty. Hold on, I have to take my soapbox and put it over here. Okay. I don't like when they tell us what to do, when they don't have a right to. And at the same time, I do understand that everyone is doing the best that they can do to attempt to move forward and keep people safe. That is not lost on me. And yet, just be clear about what that looks like. All righty, a couple of other announcements. Today at 1 o'clock, there is a Facebook ad campaign class. We also have Marty Miller today at 9:15 talking about Facebook ad campaigns. So it's kind of a full day of Facebook ad campaigns. You get 15 minutes this morning and then another hour if you so choose at 1 o'clock today. For 4:30 today, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to think a little bit about what you've learned in the last 10 weeks. I want to share at 4:30 just some ahas and some thoughts about what you've learned. That can be personal, that could be business, that could be whatever it is you have learned, because the opportunity for the last 10 weeks has been just that. What can I take away from this and put into practice every single day to continue to grow and get bigger and bigger? So let's focus on what we've learned. As far as facing us forward, I want to be really clear about this. The next 90 days and the activities you choose to focus on in the next 90 days will determine the rest of your year. We're at that point in the year where 90 days from now, you're kind of out of time to create income and opportunity for your business that will still close realistically in 2020. So you've got to really focus on the next 90 days because it will determine your year. Today is the start of that next 90 days. We've got June, we've got July, we've got August. I know it's summer. I know it's typically beach time and sunning time and whatnot time. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm not interested in the beach this year. Truth be told, I'm not really interested in the beach any year. And yet the idea of going and being with sneezing people is not appealing to me this year. So let's take a look at what the opportunity is for utilizing the time, because my guess is that we will all have extra time in the next 90 days than we usually do this time of year. You may not be jetting off to wherever you typically jet off to this year. And so utilize that additional time, utilize that opportunity to really get clear about your activities. Focus, discipline, systems. Focus, discipline, systems. That's how we get anywhere, right? Is focus, discipline, and systems. New listings, price reductions, buyer urgency. That's where we're looking to land, right? All right, last thing before we go to Marty Miller. Just a quick comment on your reopening process today. As you know, the Market Center is reopened as of right this minute for anyone who is a member of the permanent staff and anyone who has a permanent leased office space. That's an office with a door that closes, right? And so you are absolutely welcome back today if you so choose. If you don't choose, that's fine too. We have all the support that you need online as we have the last 10 weeks. If you choose to come in, do know that there will be a couple of protocols. One, you need to wear your mask to get into the building and into the office. That looks like this. You also need to be ready to have your temperature taken with a scan thermometer, right? No touch, but it is a scan. Make sure that you're willing to be tracked in and out because you have to clock yourself in and clock yourself out. All opportunities to access the space are through the front door only, including exiting, because we have to make sure that we know what time you left as well. And there are opportunities all throughout the Market Center with fun disinfecting sprays and alcohol wipes and everything else that you can possibly imagine to keep yourself and your space wiped down and clean. So do make sure that if you're joining us today, that you expect those, expect that fun to kind of enter in and out, and know that you're pretty much in your office. Utilize the staff via text and or via phone call if you need something or need them. And let's just keep ourselves focused on getting back to some version of working normally with some new exciting fun thrown into the mix. Remember that all of these things are being put together for you and your safety and the safety of your families. So please take that as seriously as we do, because there is kind of that no tolerance version of these rules going on in our spaces, which is not to sound mean and nasty and heavy, but it is to reiterate for those of you who are interested in coming and joining us in the Market Center today that it is a safe space for you, and we've worked really hard to make that happen. So guys, thank you so much. Paul, give us that quick minute, and then we're going to dive into Marty Miller.
My God, Rick, you are pumped up this morning. It's so great to see you on a Monday, Tuesday. All right, so I had a triple play this weekend. I had a Reading sale. Woohoo! 21 days start to finish. That's got to be a record. And this kid was 23 years old. Talk about millennials coming to the party. They're coming, folks. Be ready.
Love it. Thank you so much. Adonis, bring us into Marty.
So, like Rick said today, Marty's going to talk to us about creating a Facebook ad, a paid Facebook ad using commands. So there are multiple opportunities to learn that today. Let's see Marty's take on it.
Good evening, Keller Williams, and welcome back to the KW Command 66-Day Challenge 3.0, and today is day 41. So yesterday we started our series on campaigns with a direct mail campaign from a postcard created in Designs. And today I'm going to show you how to create a paid social media campaign for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So we're going to do that by clicking on Create a New Campaign. We came into our campaign submenu here on the bottom left, 7th icon down. We clicked on Create a New Campaign, and then we clicked on Social Ad for a paid social media ad. So we're just going to put in test as we did before. Let's just say we're going to run a listing to attract buyers. So let's do an ad featuring one of our listings in order to attract buyers towards it. And where will your campaign run? So you do have the ability to create one ad and then run it on all three of these channels, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at the same time. You can do two at the same time or just select one. So I'm going to stick with Facebook right now. I found it is the most popular place where most KW agents are running their ads. So let's go ahead and run through that. I'm going to click on Setup Campaign here on the right-hand side. So right off the bat, I have the ability to come in and add a listing should I choose to. So you can see right off the bat, it shows me 3 of the listings that I have available. Let's go ahead and click on Lodge Meadows Drive. And it's going to go ahead and bring in the front photo of the drive. Now listing, excuse me. Now I do have the ability, if I want not to feature this photo, if I have another photo or something that I've actually created in Designs that might look a little sharper, I can use that instead of this photo as well. Now this information that's right here, this is coming directly from the public description of the listing. So I can come in and change that should I want to as well. So let's click on Add Text first. And you can see the main copy, I'm limited to 250 characters. And again, this information is brought in from the listing description. Now here's one thing I will say about running these ads. The goal obviously on most of these ads is 1, to get exposure, and 2, to get leads. If you want somebody to click on the ad, there has to be kind of something that you're holding back, if you will. I think the saying goes, if you get the milk, why would you buy the cow? Or why would I buy the cow if I can get the milk for free? Something along those lines. Bottom line is, if you tell them about the house, everything that's in it, what the price is, square footage, blah, 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 well, there's no real need to click on the actual ad because you've given them all the information that they need. So sometimes it's good to have a little bit of mystery. Check out this beautiful home. Give them a little bit of information, maybe withhold the price, maybe withhold when it goes live, something along those lines, and then your call to action would be click here to find out the price and more information. Something along those lines. So that way they're actually clicking into your ad. So I'm just going to go ahead and crop this last sentence off and leave this main copy as it is. The headline, when I start typing in the headline, you'll see it's going to start loading in here. So I could put something about click here for more information. And the description is the main copy, right? So, I'm sorry, the description is going to be what shows up here in your CTA link, I believe, right? So, to find out the price, square footage, and to arrange a private showing, please click the Learn More button, right? So I can put that in here, and that's showing up down here so that they also have the ability to click on the Learn More, right? I can even put quotations around it. I might put it in all caps if I wanted it to stand out. So do that, and then do that. Okay. And I can then click on Save Ad Text. So here's the main copy text. Here is the headline. I'll put an exclamation point in there. And here is the description down here at the bottom. So I can click on Save Ad Text. Next, I have the ability to configure the ad media. Again, I told you we could change this photo if I had something else that I wanted to go with. I could click on Select Media. It brings in all of the listings of the photo. So if I wanted to add additional images, I could. If I wanted to add a video, I could do that as well. I'm going to go ahead and stick with the image that they brought in, but just know that you do have the ability to come in here, delete this image, change the aspect ratio, crop it, make it look perfect for what you're actually looking for it to be. Next, I want to click on Facebook ad, and it's going to pull up my account, and then it's going to show the pages that I already have connected, my business pages that I have connected to my Facebook profile. Now, in order for these to show, I've got to make sure that I am connected in the settings menu underneath, I believe it's command settings, and then applications, connected applications. So I want to make sure that my Facebook is connected in those connected applications. On step 2, you can see destination. This is really important for people to kind of pay attention to. You have 2 options here. So you can use a Facebook lead gen form, and it will pop up a pop-up, right? Lack of a better word. It's a pop-up that shows up that Facebook has created that automatically fills in their name, their email, and their phone number if they have it associated with their Facebook account. They have to submit that information to you before then being directed to your CTA destination. If you go with use a site or landing page, then they don't, right? So Facebook won't automatically pop up that ad. I actually did some A/B testing, and I'll show you here in a second. I have found that using a site or landing page gets you significantly more exposure, but obviously you don't always get the leads, because if you're sending them to a landing page, then they're going to have to register on their own accord on the landing page for you to get the lead, right? So the difference here, it's basically forced information, right? So you may not get as much exposure. Here it is just a lot of exposure, but not necessarily as many leads. You do have the ability to change this button in the bottom right-hand corner by clicking on this drop down. So you can do learn more, sign up, contact us, or apply now. And then destination URL, this is basically where they are going to go on either one of these 2. So it's either follow-up destination or destination, but regardless, it's where you're going to send them either once they click on learn more or after they fill out the Facebook pop-up, then where are they going to go to, right? So this could be a landing page that you have already created with sites. So you can see here, there's a whole bunch of landing pages that are actually from my website. So I might send them to one of those pages. I might actually create an independent landing page for just this listing. I could send them there. So there's a variety of different places that I can send them, but I do have to send them somewhere. So for right now, I'm just going to send them to my website. The next thing is ad targeting. So it kind of defaults to where this listing is and radius 20 miles. I can click on custom settings, and then I have the ability to target a custom audience, or I can target my database by creating audiences. So previously I'd created an audience of all KW agents. Depending on how many people that you have in your database, you can create a new audience, put in the test or the list name, and then you could target by tags, or neighborhoods. Now here's the only caveat. The email that is associated with the contact in your database has to be the email that they use to log into Facebook, right? So Facebook has a minimum of 100 people for that audience, and those 100 people all have to be utilizing the email that they log into Facebook with. So I will show you just kind of as a test. I could select this KW Agents audience, and it's going to give me an error message that says the audience is too small. Well, I know that there's 511 people in this audience, so how can that be? Well, because it's KW Agents, the majority of us use our kw.com email when we're corresponding with other agents, and it's not the email that we use to log into Facebook with. So that's the issue that I'm having there of not being able to actually use that as a custom audience. So you would want to go through and really work on getting the emails that people are utilizing in Facebook in order to create that audience. So I'm going to target a custom audience. We're going to go ahead and use Katie. I'm good with 20 miles. And then I can also come in and add interests. So this is a listing. I can search for interest. If I click on this drop down box, it's going to show me an entire list, right? I mean, it's a detailed list. I can also search interest. So I might search for real estate, see if anything comes up there, right? So you can see there some of these things you can see that maybe people are. So real estate investing, anything along those lines. I might look up things like Zillow. Pretty sure that is available in Facebook. So if somebody is already interested in Zillow, there's a good chance they might be interested in buying a house. I could do Trulia and see what comes up there. I can do mortgage. And you can see mortgage loans and some other mortgage calculator, some other opportunities there. So you can do or you can do and. My recommendation is always do or, because and would mean they have to like all of those selections that you have just chosen. So they would have to like Trulia, they would have to like Zillow, and they would have to like mortgage loans. If you do or, it can be they like Trulia, or they like Zillow, or they like mortgage loans. So just kind of be careful as you go through choosing your interests. Once you have kind of gone through your custom settings, you can save your ad. And then the last opportunity is to come in and select a budget and a duration. When we visited Facebook during Mega Camp, they did advise that you run your ads for a minimum of 7 days and a maximum of 30 days. You can see KW actually recommends a 10-day campaign. And a minimum budget of $1. Facebook actually recommended $2 to $3 per day. So you can see this ad as it defaults as a 10-day ad, $3 or daily per channel, or $30 total. Because this is only going to Facebook, all the money is going into Facebook. However, I do have the opportunity, if I had done Facebook and Twitter, or Facebook and Instagram, I could have divided it up to say $10, per channel, and then basically it'd be, I don't know what that'd be, $1 per day, right, per channel. So you could go through and kind of change that up. Once you have decided on your duration and budget, next all you have to do is go to publish your campaign. And from there, it's going to ask you one more time, are you ready to go? And it's going to start moving forward and charging you from there. So I'm not going to do that. But that's basically the process: is come in, name the goal, create your ad text, make sure the media is the one that you want to do, target your ad, and you can use basic all the way up to super custom settings there, and then decide on your budget and then go for publish. So pretty straightforward. I did want to show you, yes, we're going to leave this. This is some, when I say A/B testing, I ran the exact same ad. I actually duplicated it within campaigns. And the only thing I changed on these two ads that you see in front of you is that the top ad was the direct, basically did not have the Facebook pop-up. It was the second option that just sent them to a landing page. I actually sent them to a Google form page, hoping that they would sign up there, but I didn't require it. So they could get to that page from there. This second page essentially had that sign up that Facebook popped up, and then they were directed actually to my website from there. So you can see that they were both run for 10 days. Cost per mil, that's how much it costs to get 1,000 impressions. And so you can see $2.19 to get 1,000 impressions as compared to $52 to get 1,000 impressions. So this top ad, it got significantly more impressions, almost 14,000 impressions. I mean, that's how many people saw the ad versus 568. It got 13 clicks versus only 12. However, this ad did capture 3 actual leads, and this was for an open house list. I'm going to do some A/B testing on one of my listings that's going through a remodel right now. As soon as it's finished being remodeled, I'm going to run a similar test where I have an ad for the listing, kind of talking about the remodel and, you know, pictures of the house, and do the exact same thing and see what it looks like. I imagine I'll probably get more than 3 leads. I don't think that the open house one could have been more effective. Bottom line, I'm still learning too, right? I'm not perfect at these things, and yet I just thought it was very interesting that it was, I mean, literally almost 24 to 1 with regards to the number of impressions. So although this ad did not create any leads, it certainly got my name out there. It got my brand out there. It got me a lot more exposure. So you kind of have to decide, right, which one of those 2 ways you want to go. If it's all about the leads, then again, I would recommend the Facebook forced registration or forced pop-up. If it's just about exposure, then you may want to go with the second option. But either way, again, Command is kind of a choose your own adventure novel, so it's kind of exciting that you can create the ad that best suits your needs. Maybe you do exactly what I did. You don't even have to do it at the $30 mark. Maybe you run it for 5 days at $10 total and do it twice, right? Do the 2 different ones and see